Hello there, World of Tankers. Welcome to the channel. Hopefully all of you are doing well out there. I'm, of course, your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, we're going to be talking how to completely break your World of Tanks Blitz, like you can see in front of me in this replay. Now, I have 3 games to show you guys, because I was actually recording this while I was playing the games, because I was like, what the absolute heck is going on to my Blitz? So, of course, as many of you know, I did start up my own clan, and I was messing through the clan applications. I've got a lot of people I got to sort through, of course, and I was looking at Google, and then I went back to Blitz, and a couple of the icons were messed up, and a couple of the names were weird and misshapen, and I was like, what the heck is going on? So I went back into my garage just to see if anything was wrong, and the garage looked okay. The battle button was discolored. It was red instead of orange or whatever the normal color is, and I was like, okay, this is weird. Let's see what happens when I go into a game. And this was the first game I went into. I picked a tank that I don't really care too much about, and well, as you can see, this is stage 1 of Blitz losing its mind. Now, this is when the game was bearable. My game was running at around, what, maybe 40, 50 FPS? It wasn't awful. Now, by the way, I am absolutely delusional or something. There is no way that this hill is actually this big. I was streaming this on Discord, and Batchat Begins and I were wondering how the heck is this hill actually this tall? Because I've never actually seen the hill be this tall ever in the game, and I can't, of course, tell where the ground is. So pretty much the game is absolutely broken at this point. I can't do any damage, and you'll see, I'm going to shoot this tiger. Yeah, I did a number of damage. I don't know what that number was, but I did do a specific number of damage. Now, of course, I talked to one of my moderators to ask what the heck and why Blitz is doing this, and apparently, if you go into your clan tab enough and you mess it up just enough, there's no system memory. So it literally messes up all of the systems. As you can see, my minimap is fantastic, and I have no clue what that thing on the front of my screen is, or like where my reticle is, but it was hell. This was one of the weirdest games I've ever played in Blitz, and I've never, ever had bugs like this ever happen in my entire Blitz career this bad. But this was just the start. This is, in fact, the smallest of bugs when you see this one. Now, of course, you can see no clue what's going on. Although what's weird is that every vehicle's messed up apart from the type T-3485, I think that is. So, as you can see, back into the garage, now it's looking weird. We've got the Kuromori mine on the side up top, and, well, yeah, things are starting to get quite buggy. We got our ×2 covering the entire screen. And Batchat said, oh yeah, why don't you pick the Jagdpanzer with the Kampfpanzer hull behind it? Yeah, it was bugged badly. As you can see, everything is just absolutely broken. But not only did the game break, as you can see, it got worse. Every single time, yeah, it just got much worse every time I loaded into a battle. In fact, the third game, my game crashed after it was over. So now I load into the battle, and, well, the ground is tracks, which is fantastic. The tank is something. I don't know what the Jagdpanzer hull is traced on, and then I look up at the sky, and I go, what in the game of God is that? The rocks are turned into tank textures, and my tank is through the ground. And at this point, I thought that I hadn't woken up, and this was some sort of hell that I had to live to, because this is just, like, look at the bushes. They are literally ping numbers. That's what the bushes were. Now, the funny thing is that some of the texture still worked. Like you can see, the pine trees still worked a little bit. Some of the fences still existed, but then you've got the buildings, which are the insides of tank textures. And then the bridge, which is not really a bridge anymore. It's, again, a weird texture. Every single thing about this game and replay was bugged to heck. And I don't actually think I've ever seen Blitz ever do this. So let me know in the comments down below if you've ever seen anything like this before. And I would not suggest, and by the way, look at what happens when I aim in. Oh, no. It's literally just fire. Of course, my mouse ran in front of me. And look, you can actually see the camo worked for about half a second, and then it went back into broken. The ping on the bushes is dead. And my game, as you can see, was running at about, I think, 5 FPS at the time. Literally, it wouldn't run the game. My CPU was being used, and I checked on Task Manager for a quick second. It was being used 100% of my CPU. My computer was literally going to explode trying to load what this carnival circus of a game Blitz is right now. But yeah, you can see there's literally, it looks like a T110E3 underneath the bridge there on a broken texture. Aiming back in here, are we going to be able to get out a shot? Now, of course, I decided to play a tier 10 game, which not only wasn't great for my tier 10 stats, but as well, we're going to aim it on the cheek of the mouse. Come on, aiming. The FPS is like 10 right now, and it ricochets off. I don't think I actually did any damage. The game was so broken that it turned off the replays, so I have no clue if I did damage in these games, what happened, but I can tell you that it was a waste of time for me if you read at the bottom of the screen. It literally said that. No clue why, but what the absolute heck is wrong with Blitz? Now, if any wargaming employees are out there watching this, please fix your game, because now you load into the garage and it gets even worse. Everything has turned into an AC Sentinel. Everything is an AC Sentinel. And then everything turns into a black and white cross. So now at this point I figured, okay, so whatever I click on, it turns into. So as you can see, I clicked on my Jagdpanzer, and now every single thing in the game is a Jagdpanzer. And then everything follows this texture, which I don't even know what it is. It just gets worse and worse and worse. So I'm like, okay, we're going to pull out the Panzer 2J, because at least if I play a tier 3 game, it's not going to be, you know, detrimental to my stats, and I won't care that much. But I just found it funny that every single thing I clicked on, it turned into. So you can see I clicked on the Panzer 2J, and every single texture is now the Panzer 2J. The train is a Panzer 2J. The tree is a Panzer 2J. And believe it or not, my Panzer 2J is a Panzer 2J. And by the way, do you like the new Battle Q results screen? How it's got the big numbers? Oh, yeah, it's just, it gets worse. It was so bad at this point. But now everything, yeah, I'm sorry if any of you do stroke or get a seizure from this, because this is what I was looking at. Like, literally, this was live recording of what my Blitz was doing. And just for all of you know, this is not me modding the game by any singular way. I literally loaded into the Blitz, was AFK for about 10 minutes, looking at something else, loaded back in, and it did this. And not only did it do it once, but then it proceeded to do it, I would say, 2 hours later, it proceeded to do it again. So there's something bugged about the clan stuff, because I've never really done leading a clan. I've been deputy and I've, you know, led teams, but never have I ever recruited people into the clan myself. And it seems that, I think maybe it is if somebody tries to join the clan while you are AFK and they pop in with the Gnosis to memory, it overloads something. But, well, as you can see, my Panzer 2J is now a tree bark, and the sky is just fire. It is just on fire. The ground, I don't know, and this is what I dealt with. I pretty much was like, what the heck am I going to do? You can see the tank shot. You should have, the funny part was, is I was recording this and I didn't want to have my microphone on because I wanted to do a voiceover for this, but if you had heard the reactions we were having as the game got worse and worse, if you don't know, the game's running at 5 FPS right now. You can actually see it at the bottom of the screen. 3, 2, actually that might be the reload for the shells, but pretty much the game was running at 5 to 4 FPS on average. You can see the animations of my shells hitting the enemy vehicles. It's bad. Like, the animations are so bad at this point that literally like, the shells are squares. At one point they were ping. I think like I was shooting ping shells at the enemy. Oh, gee, Blitz, why you do this? Just why? Everything is broken. Like, this is what Blitz has turned out to be. So, now that I have turned into the cult of Blitz, I have done the sacrifice of the cult, you can see the game is better than it's ever been in the current state of Blitz. Now, I would have been fine with this, and I would have thought it was really cool if my game wasn't literally running at 4 FPS at the time, but it's just pretty funny. Now, I didn't know if I was taking health right now because it had gotten to a certain point and the game had been so bugged that I couldn't even tell if I was losing HP or not, but pretty much all I do know is that I died very soon, because you're going to see a tank just yeet straight behind me, and off goes my head in about 2 seconds, and this is where the textures get even worse. So now, screen tearing's going on, weird cubes, oh, yep, there's the fire animation, and this was my Blitz. So, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more hell, should I say, like this, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below, but please don't suffer, because my Blitz literally crashed.